Hi, I'm Hannah Ladd-Jones and welcome to this week's MASTS CASTS, the weekly online update video about what's been happening in the MASTS community this week and information you need to know. In this week's edition, I chat to Professor Christian Rutz from the University of St Andrews about a recent publication of his, and we have an update from Mark James about the CABFISHMAN project and what to expect from it. But first, before webinars are mentioned, a deadline. MASTS is a member of the European Marine Board, which has a call for its working group on coastal resilience. This is looking for members to form this working group, and MASTS can put forward 3 nominations. If you would like to find out more about this, the deadline is the 17th of July, and information is below this video right now in the video description. So if this is something that you would be interested in participating or would like to nominate yourself, please check out that information below on how you can actually do that. And now, webinars. This week's MASTS webinar was with Dr. Declan Tobin from JNCC. His talk was titled, What's the Porpoise? Marine Conservation, the Species Behind the Policies. We had a great Q&A session afterwards, so if you weren't able to attend and this is a recording that you would like to see or just check out the Q&A, please check out the link that is below this video and you'll be able to see that all there. Next week's talker is Dr. Maria Dornelles from the University of St Andrews, and her talk is titled Changing Seas, Biodiversity Change in the Recent Past. If this is a talk that you would like to attend or just participate in the Q&A, please check out the registration link that is below this video and look at all our other upcoming talks that we have. We have one spot on the 12th of August that's still available, so if you would like to take up the opportunity to be in the MASTS webinar series, please drop us a line at masts@standrews.ac.uk and we'll be able to organise that for you. A report that has just been published is the Copernicus Marine Science Ocean State Report for Summary. So this is freely available online and focuses on the year 2018. It looks at the current state, the natural changes and pressure changes that are happening in our oceans, and draws on the Copernicus Marine Ocean Monitoring Indicator Framework. So a link for that is below this video if you want to check that out. And now for my chat with Professor Christian Rutz from the University of St Andrews. He is the president of the International Biologging Society and is the lead author of a recent Nature, Ecology and Evolution paper titled COVID-19 Lockdown Allows Researchers to Quantify the Effects of Human Activity on Wildlife. In our conversation, he explained how the Biologging Society and community from around the world have collaborated using their data sets from both marine and terrestrial animals to help understand how wildlife is interacting in space and to understand how the reduced human level activities is impacting them during this pandemic.
Yeah, thanks for having me. First of all, I'm really delighted to tell the MASTS community a bit more about this project. This project was launched as part of the International Biologging Society, which brings together researchers who use biologging technology and also practitioners who use the insights that generate from biologging approaches in one big community. We've got about 1,000 members worldwide now. And importantly, it brings together the terrestrial and the marine biologging community, who have traditionally been actually quite separate. And so in this International Biologging Society, we all have one umbrella and we can tackle projects like this. So as you said, we put out a call for collaboration to our membership. And we asked who might be able to contribute data or expertise or both. And we had a phenomenal response to this survey. Within a few weeks, we had, I think, 270 responses, which is a great response rate. We just did a quick stock take, data for 158 species across 244 populations. And we were really excited that we got a really positive, supportive response, both from the marine side of the community and the terrestrial side. It's a near 50-50 split in terms of data sets.
Mm-hmm. And this was data that helps us understand what was happening kind of before, during the pandemic, and hopefully you'll have a bit of a legacy afterwards, so you can have a real understanding of how wildlife has been interacting with man-made structures or in their own natural environment where humans are present. And so we can kind of see that development or how things have been going for wildlife whilst this has all been happening, whilst we've all been working from home.
Yes, That is precisely the objective of this initiative. We want to use the biologging data, which all our colleagues have been collecting all around the world, to gain insights into these human-wildlife interactions, using, as you said, data from before, during, and after lockdown. We also asked whether people have data from prior years, from 2019 and 2018, that could serve as an important baseline, so we can disentangle responses to changes in human activity from merely seasonal patterns, which of course will also take place. I should say that although this is a great research opportunity, it's an opportunity that has come about by the most tragic circumstances, and we acknowledge that in our paper. But we feel that it is an opportunity we as a scientific community can't afford to miss, because we can get really deep mechanistic insights into human-wildlife interactions that will not just benefit wildlife conservation going forward, but that will inform strategies for how, in general, we can share space on this planet. And it may inspire some really innovative solutions for how we can lead our lives in ways that have benefits both for wildlife and humans.
In the paper, you kind of coined the term anthropause, which is quite a nice play on words and is totally appropriate for this time, I think, and relates very much to your paper.
Yeah, so we noticed that people started referring to the Great Pause when they talked about the global lockdown period, but that was often in economic context, and we in general felt that a more specific term would be really helpful, and so we decided to coin a new term and came up with anthropause, which of course echoes the Anthropocene. It's the geological age where we humans are the predominant factor shaping environmental processes. And during this dreadful crisis, there was a global slowing of modern human activities, and that's what we try to capture with this new term, anthropause. And I was delighted to see that people started using that term, and I even saw that William Gibson put out a tweet about this a few days ago. William Gibson is the person who came up with the concept of and the term cyberspace, and is a hugely influential writer, and I was excited to see that.
Yeah, in these day and ages, if you're able to coin quite a unique word, the ability to track where it goes on social media is really interesting in itself. So you kind of cyber logging your own word, you know?
Yes, that's true.
So yeah, thank you again for featuring this week's MASTS, and
thank you.
We highly recommend to all our viewers to read the full paper.
If you would like to read this paper, and I really recommend that you do, please check out the link that is below this video. There is also a link to the Biologging Society call for collaboration. So if you have a data set that you're sitting on and you think that could actually be really helpful to this society, please check that out, and you can also drop them an email at the email address that is below this video as well. And now Dr. Mark James provides an update from the Conserving Atlantic Biodiversity by Supporting Innovative Small-Scale Fisheries Co-Management, or CABFISHMAN project.
Hello everyone, this is Mark James. Just to give you a quick heads up about a webinar that will occur next week on the 30th of June, 11 o'clock to 12:30. It's in connection with an Interreg Atlantic project called CABFISHMAN, and that relates to managing fisheries, small-scale fisheries in the Atlantic area, and trying to understand how we can better co-manage those fisheries. The details of the webinar can be found on the CABFISHMAN website, which you can see here. I would urge anybody that is interested, particularly if you happen to be involved in small-scale fisheries, inshore fisheries at UK level, to register for the webinar. There will be a Q&A session. There will be a couple of presentations from those on the UK side that are involved in the CABFISHMAN project, which is international and covers the entire sort of Northeast Atlantic region. The UK webinar is one of a series, and we're the first, and it will focus on two areas. The first will be looking at some of the potential impacts of small-scale fisheries in different Atlantic area fisheries, and then also looking at the socioeconomics and the cultural impacts of small-scale fisheries in those regions. And we're encouraging particularly stakeholders, those who are involved, either the coalface as fishers, or stakeholders involved in fishing associations, those involved in the governance of fisheries, to participate in the webinar, ask questions, and perhaps helps guide some of the outputs from the project so it makes them as useful as possible. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to seeing you at the webinar on the 30th.
The link for the webinar and more information is below this video, so please check that out if you want to attend. And also there are links for the CABFISHMAN project social media, so if you follow those, you'll stay up to date with everything that's happening with that. Lastly, Kelly James, a PhD student from the University of Glasgow, has written a blog about being a MASTS intern at SNH. If you want to read more, please check out the link that is below this video as well. She did feature on one of our earlier MASTS casts as well, so if you actually want to hear about her experiences along with Coralie, another MASTS PhD student, you can find out more in a video that's about to appear up there. That leaves me to say we hope you had a wonderful Pride month, stay safe and have a great weekend.